And finally, the mesial lesion on the first maxillary bicuspid, third most difficult area to work. And this little area is so tricky. It's almost as unfair as the tight embrasures between the first and second molars. And main reasons include, one, we're transitioning between an anterior tooth and a posterior tooth, right, in one little slice here. So anterior matrix systems or anterior techniques work on this tooth, posterior situations work on this tooth, but when you butt the two up, it gets tricky, right? Ring placement can be a little dicey. And on top of that, we always have a cute little concavity or at some level on the mesial of this root. And so it's kind of one of those situations that we look at and we're like, oh gosh, you know, we always know, we're always warned about this area. And so it's one of those that's, again, a bailout situation or a bailout tool is very effective to kind of overcome those challenges. And again, I told you I like to etch the tooth all the way. So I'll etch just like this, keep the patient open and let it sit for 30 seconds, rinse everything off, dry it, and now I have a dry field to place my matrix band. So if you look carefully here, you'll see that the matrix band is actually sealing the entire floor of that gingival margin there, which even took that little concavity shape. And that's a great thing. It's a great easy tool to be able to pop in there and kind of solve that situation on an isolated lesion. And it also gets us past the fact that we're in between, you know, we're in between types of restorations, and we got an anterior here and a posterior here, and that's where our systems kind of, they can struggle. Now, if I have room to on the canine or contour on the canine to put a ring, I will. But sometimes we need these, you know, these scenarios where the canine has a real steep lingual incline and nothing wants to grip it, and it's hard to get a matrix band in there and a wedge and just hope. And so this gives you a little bit more control over those certain scenarios where you can effectively handle these situations. And in this situation as well, you can see that the embrasure was a bit tight on this, and so I'll show you how I trim these wings. So this is the standard matrix wedge setup right here. Very simply, take a pair of scissors and cut the wing off. And you don't have to cut the wing off, you know, you don't have to cut it all the way by the handle because it doesn't even split that far, but just cut the initial half off, and that allows this leading tip to get into that area, and you're still keeping like the body of the wedge itself. And so you're still going to be getting separation because the tip of the wedges aren't doing any separating. It's all here in the body, near the, you know, near the handle surface of any wedge for that matter. And so that's the remaining tip right there. And then this is the modified wedge, and that's placed in there. That's immediately after restoration. So again, you can see only one wing here, and that's final after polish and a little bit of finishing. And so